And afterwards, I think, did I make these moves or some guy came and made it for me? It's the most embarrassing moves I've ever made.
Okay. That was my pearl, my gem.
But it's true that with age, you have this feeling, I have panicked before, relax.
Okay. 2 hours choosing something. I need to something that he doesn't have analyzing. He has here.
Unfortunately, I think if you win these matches, you forget how hard they were.
Yeah, that's what.
This is you with reality almost.
Yeah.
That what you thought was very smooth was not at all.
Once a chess player, always a chess player, yeah?
I think so.
Hi, Vishy.
Hi, yeah.
This is the first time I do it. I do the flash memories in English. This is the first time I do it. This is the first time I do it live. But thank you for agreeing to do this. This is I will just remind our spectators that this is a form of chess quiz. I put some positions on the board, and the world champions, chess grandmasters, try to figure out in which game they've seen this position, or it's their games. Here we of course are looking only on your games. So this is the first position.
Okay, this is my game with Shirov, game 2 in Tehran. That's what I remember.
Yeah, that's correct. That was the World Cup, it's called, yeah?
No, it was kind of just the World Championship.
Yeah.
Subsequently, it was renamed the World Cup.
Okay.
And I think the name has stuck since then. But it was the World Championship till 2004.
Yeah. Wasn't an important win for you?
Yes, I think it's the first time I had won the world title. Fair enough, it was still disputed at that point. 2 titles, but at least I had one of the 2.
Okay.
And in that sense, it was an important milestone. Yeah.
And the match itself with Shirov, the tournament itself, how it went?
One of my best tournaments ever.
Yeah.
In fact, I think probably one of the best knockout performances ever. Because except for my good friend Halifman,
Okay.
I had no problems the whole tournament. Not one match was I in danger.
Okay.
But of course, Halif could have eliminated me. Like he could have eliminated me 2 years earlier, but also very similar in Groningen. I think, again, that was the only match I had any difficulty. So it was like this, yeah.
Okay. And the move here?
I don't remember.
You're playing with white here.
Yeah, I don't remember. Did I play G5 or something? No, this I don't remember. I only remember the position. It's
Okay. The move is rook h7.
To stop rook h8.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I was even very exact then.
Back then, yes.
Yes.
Oh, I can put like this, yeah? It's even harder. Yeah? This could be a new challenge. I only put your pieces. But it's not your pieces. That's the issue. Playing with black.
Okay. Could be some Adams game or something. I don't know.
Yes, exactly.
Hilversum, yes, okay.
Exactly,
Then yes, it's Hilversum, yeah.
What is it, Hilversum?
Yes, we played the European Club Cup. It was called Team Championship then. Club Championships. I was playing for Lyon or something like that.
Yeah. And what year?
He has a bishop on 93, December.
That's a good memory. And the move?
Well, where's his bishop?
The bishop. The bishop is here. Sorry.
Okay.
So you don't remember moves, huh?
No, here I remember. I played knight b6, a4. It was very important because 2 pieces are fighting. So I think I wanted to go queen d5, knight a4 maybe.
No.
No, I didn't do knight b6.
No. His last move was queen d2. No, I don't want to make you suffer now, Vishy, and try to find the correct move here.
No, sure, but then maybe in my annotation. No, I remember. In my annotations, I wrote much better was to do this. Queen d5. So I see now I'm dreaming that I played it, but then maybe I only remember. What did I play? A5? No, that is premature. Yeah? What should I play? Rook a8.
Rook a8, yes.
Rook a8.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful taking the.
Okay. No, in fact,
taking the rook out.
Later on, I thought this was better, but I haven't checked it with the computer. I think my plan was if I do this and queen d5 and knight a4, then it'll be very unpleasant for white. But that was my impression.
Computer just plays A5 immediately.
Even without looking on knight b6. Okay, so it goes.
Okay, it's here.
All of Sophia. Okay, what is this knight doing here? It makes no sense.
Yes, it's the Toal Game, exactly. I just want to talk about this match.
Sure.
I know the new level of this game. I will put only like white pieces, and you will have to put the black pieces on.
No, please.
No, I'm joking.
Yes. That's a bit much, but...
No.
But okay, a Catalan with a knight on g4 is very few games. There may be few games, which I was thinking, my first thing was not to roll out, let's say, my game with Kramnik in Las Palmas.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the knight going to g4, and then that's too much of a clue.
Yeah?
Knight g4 was a very big clue, that's true.
Yeah. You never put your knight there, yeah.
Also, he had played h6. That's why I went knight g4.
He played h6 later, yeah.
He played it later. Maybe I went back and he went back or something. Wow.
No, he played knight d3, he played knight a6.
Mm-hmm.
This is game, what game is it?
4.
This is game. One of the hardest matches?
Yes.
Psychologically, playing in Sofia?
Yes, but in stages. It was the... So the travel problems were very difficult. Even more difficult for Aruna because she was actually dealing with the problem of how to get us there. And
okay.
We tried to work for 1 hour exactly on the bus. And then we gave up and somebody said, put on Dr. House and then put on a lot of things. It's a waste to work on chess in a shaking bus with your computer. We thought it's better not even to pretend. Just at least relax. I don't know if it's a Russian saying. If you're going to get drunk, at least don't feel guilty. So it's exactly the thing. So if you're not going to work, then at least don't feel guilty. Go for it. So that was difficult. Then it was quite stable. I mean, there were problems in the background and all, but nothing that affected me. It was quite stable, under pressure with black, but a fighting match, both people. And then he survived game 9, because after game 8, I had won game 9, it would have been anything. I probably had a narrow escape. Game 11, game 10 was quite tense. And then this game 12. So, where sort of the dam burst. But unfortunately, I think if you win these matches, you forget how hard they were.
That's
the problem. You kind of
it looked like you struggled and suffered and just I don't know. It was very hard for you. It looked like this. I don't know.
It definitely was, and it's a pity that you cannot recall these things anymore. Sometimes I will read very funny things in, for instance, in my, I will call it a diary, but sometimes I'll write my impressions somewhere.
Okay.
And during Mexico. 2007, which looks like one of my best victories ever.
Yeah.
I was in complete panic before one game. And that's...
Before one game?
No, before some game.
Okay.
I mean, where I wrote this and I was writing, I don't know what to play. I'm busted here, I'm busted there, blah, blah, blah. And on top of that, I'm playing so badly. It's just total... And that is quite shocking because I no longer remember these things. Now Mexico looks like the most glorious holiday and I won easily and nice. But if you write down your impressions, then it's quite useful because it confronts you with reality almost. That what you thought was very smooth was not at all.
Was it common for you to panic before the game?
Yes, quite often.
Yeah?
Quite often, even here.
Even here? Yeah.
Yes. So it happens.
But during the game it disappears or sometimes it stays?
During the game, you are confronted with more practical problems, so it
How to
dissipates.
put your knight on c3 or something, yeah, I mean...
Yes.
No, I mean, with the concrete chess problems, yes?
Yes. You don't have the luxury to keep worrying, but before, panic is very common. At one point, I would have said it's even healthy because it's a sign that you're worried about... you're already thinking what's going to happen, yes. But it's 50-50. Sometimes panic is unhealthy, sometimes it is quite healthy, actually.
Were there times when panic just, make you collapse during the game or something, or before the game that you just were not able to play normally? Or you were able always to keep it?
I'm sure I've lost games after panicking, but more often it's lightning from a clear sky. I think everything is going great and I make moves confidently.
Okay.
And afterwards, I think, did I make these moves or some guy came and made it for me? Because it's the most embarrassing moves I've ever made.
Okay.
But this happens more often when you're not expecting it. So actually panic is maybe on balance, I would even say slightly a good thing because it's a sign that your brain is functioning.
Okay.
And being very relaxed can mean that you're in the best of shape, or it can also mean that you're a bit out of touch.
And during the game, could you be in panic during the game, like really physically panic, or you know that you can control yourself?
There are moments when I feel I have blundered and lost everything.
Yeah.
And then I'm holding it inside. And then afterwards, my opponent doesn't play the move that I most feared. Then you relax a bit. Then there's a danger with that because you relaxed about the one thing that you're worried about, you forgot that there are other things that you might need to worry about.
Yeah.
Like when something blocks your head, you forget that there are other things also. Panic, it comes and goes. Quite often it's false panic. Afterwards, you realize there was nothing happening.
Okay.
Sometimes you know that nothing should happen, but you can't remember why. That's a very modern problem, that you don't remember your line or you don't remember your conclusion, but you know that the line is playable, but you can't for the life of you remember why, these kinds of things. Panic, on balance, I've lost more games while being relaxed than while being in a state of panic.
And with age, did you become more calmer, or on the contrary? Because I know some players that with the years they were pretty calm, and with years they become obsessed. Before the game, somebody didn't work, like stomach or something, So it's so with years it became easier or harder?
The process of playing didn't become easier.
Yeah.
I still have the panic.
It still looks easy for you. I mean, from the outside, it still looks like
it's your game. It's your game body. You take it there, and you're used to keeping your feelings to yourself. But it's true that with age, you have this feeling. I have panicked before. Relax.
Okay.
Yeah. If there's really a problem, nothing you can do about it. But if most of the time nothing happens, you use your experience somehow to calm down.
Yeah.
That is common. But maybe the thing is, after the tournament, I'm able to leave it a bit faster. I don't know. Even that, not really. You play badly, it haunts you. It should. I mean, it should be hardwired into you as a chess player that doing badly never gives you pleasure. That cannot
still,
change.
Still
for sure.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's why even all these casual competitions, I don't play that much.
Yeah.
Because I like to.
But
play and play.
Do you still like playing chess? Like competitive chess? Play against, I don't know.
To be honest, when I came to Amsterdam, I was slightly nervous how things would turn up. But once you see that you remember where the pieces go and so on, then you feel a bit better. And on balance, I'm happy to see everyone. Maybe the social aspect is what I'm happiest about.
Sure.
And
me too.
Yes, and if the games go reasonably well, then you're happy. And funny thing, so after the first day, I thought, okay, now I must go back and really work because I had all these problems during the game today and I really want to work again. And I forget, my God, I'm almost retired. Why am I getting so excited about working again? And you're almost excited to work for a while. So,
but it's like automatic. But it's like automatic thing, yeah?
Yes.
If you play good, okay, I'm in the tournament, let's go see some lines. Yeah?
Ambition comes back very fast.
Yes.
Even if it's maybe slightly unrealistic, but it comes back very fast. And I think nothing motivates you more than doing well. So if you played a couple of good games, then you immediately feel, now I should work on this and I can build it up. I can become better and all these things.
So to put it in one word, once a chess player, always a chess player, yeah?
I think so.
It's hard to play chess just for fun if you're playing with Kramnik or Nepomniachtchi or somebody. Yeah? I mean, if you're playing in the tournament, you will play like you're playing in the tournament.
It's impossible to play a tournament for fun. Of course, when we play casual games, I can let go more and more easily. But in tournaments, I find also that after a game, I'm one of these people who finds it very hard nowadays to come and play Blitz all evening. So many players after a long tournament, they'll spend the evening playing Blitz.
Yeah.
And for me, the last thing I want to do is chess then.
Yeah.
So I can't separate this
I never
fast.
understood that.
Thank you. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
But
I saw it like millions of times. I never understood it. Yeah.
And after a week or two that I call Boris and we play some casual games, that's different. That I enjoy, and it's nice to try this and that again a little bit. And you're free. Even if I lose, I think fine. I'd rather lose here than somewhere else. You can justify it. But I don't find it easy to sit and play Blitz all night or Bug House or this kind of stuff also after a tournament.
Do you play online sometimes?
Yes, quite often.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For fun?
For fun. Anonymously, just for fun with some friends and that.
Okay.
Because it's also nice training. You want to remember what it's like to because if you work on chess for a long time, you forget this idea that you will have to make decisions with incomplete information at the board. And you lose that sign.
I'm sorry?
You'll have to, the same position can come over the board.
Yeah.
And you'll have to make a decision what you want to play with incomplete information.
Okay.
About that's the loss of a practical play. So you need to get that back. So you don't want to
lose the feeling of practical play, yeah? You want to play chess.
Yes, and because I don't want to stop 100%. I'm playing much less than before, all that is clear, but I don't want to stop 100%. And so I really enjoy this. I enjoy, something like the Global League this time, then this Grand Chess Tour, one event.
Yeah.
Now I'll play Club Cup after this. Obviously, your Chess Week is a very nice thing. And so a few events like this are nice to play. But I'm not playing World Cups. I'm not playing Grand Swiss anymore. That's crazy. Even long classical tournaments is getting unrealistic. So
yeah. Yes. I think you're playing. Yes, you're playing white. Yes. No. Like this.
Karpov. I can say 2003.
Yes, exactly. And the move? Do you remember move? Moves are not remembered somehow, yeah?
No. I remember the moves, but not the order. I know I went sort of through Bishop King F1, Bishop G1, Rook C2.
Yeah.
But if you ask me exactly what I played now, I don't remember. Maybe Rook C2. Or King F1. I don't know. King F1. Yeah.
It's the same when I do this.
Bishop G1, Rook C2, yeah.
Yeah, when I do the series with the Gary, so he remembers everything, but sometimes move orders, they...
Yes.
Yeah, they interlap to something.
To be honest, I didn't recognize this position at all till the pawns came. Then I thought, when was my bishop buried? But when the key for me is that I'm a piece up. then I remember it's Karpov, I can say 2003 and all that. Then it's very nice. So.
How was it to play with Karpov? I mean, during your career, first it was hard, or?
Of course, he was much stronger in the beginning, and so 91, he was one of the best players simply. Much more experienced, much better prepared.
Yeah?
Yes, because nowadays you catch up much faster with computers.
Yeah.
You can take a line that somebody else played all their lives and analyze it for a while, and you're at least competitive. But in 91, 92, for me, even in the morning, I would wake up and think, should I play Zaitsev against Karpov? I love Zaitsev against Karpov and think how many matches he worked in this opening. Better not to do it.
Yeah.
Now I would never think that, because it's not that you can't analyze, it's that you're not sure. Whereas now you're sure. Now if, let's say I play the Zaitsev and the computer checks the line and I leave it running for a while, it holds, all the lines hold, then I know, okay, I've not made a mistake. Then you always feel, maybe my inexperience, I'm missing something, maybe I'm walking, maybe I should play something else. So you can always talk yourself out of things. He was much better prepared than I was then, though I was catching up fast. And obviously, after a couple of matches, I think already by 95, he was not playing very well. But at the same time, he was playing basically with his feeling. And
by hand.
By hand. And he was still very, very good. If you, funnily enough, you could put his king on e7 in a blitz game and somehow it would find a way to survive.
Yeah.
This Caro-Kann, king on e7 kind of structure. even if he got into some position which was horribly lost, he knew how to keep fiddling with his pieces and keep it alive, things like that. But obviously, I met him, let's say, 5-6 years at his most competitive, and then we continued for a bit longer. But by that time, there were new rivals already.
If you would need to choose the world champion you're comparing yourself to, who would it be?
Funnily enough, I never do this.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking I cannot find a person. It's hard.
I guess the closest, maybe not stylistically, that's the problem, but in terms of both of us not coming from very studied backgrounds, must be Capablanca. But I agree that stylistically we're not the same.
No, but...
And I'm more... Well, I would like to say I'm influenced by Toal, but again, my style is not very Toal-like. It's tactical, but it's not...
But you were influenced by Toal, yeah?
Yes, I grew up with his games and... I didn't even analyze them. I would look at them and swindle, and I would, I think, and something like that. But if at all I was trying to copy someone, it would be Fischer or Karpov, because I had books of their early games, maybe even Spassky to some degree. By this I mean that not overwhelmingly theoretical, at least for a long time, and most of my Rai Lopez and things like that came from these games of Karpov and Spassky and things. So that's probably the starting point.
When you started playing Kasparov and Karpov in the beginning of the 90s, how did it feel that, okay, I'm on this level, that's fantastic? Or did you feel that still you have a long way to go to compete against them?
I had both. I would first think I'm able to compete against them. Well, they were not so special after all. And then after a while, suddenly you'll play a game and you realize, no, wait, they're still a little bit special. And you can't ignore that. And it went back and forth. I remember Vladi in 93, he played Linares.
93?
93, he played for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's typical Vladi voice. He said, I don't know why. I mean, I thought they would all show me something, but they showed me nothing. And you get that. And you get that sometimes, but other times you feel helpless and you realize, well, no, I have a lot to learn at least. These positions, he completely outplayed me. And in 91, when I was playing Karpov in Brussels, the funny thing was where I expected to have problems openings, I did not have any problems.
Okay.
Chess was much less weaponized. Chess openings were much less weaponized then. But I got great positions against Karpov. And not everything was prepared by Misha. Gurevich would help me prepare. But for me, it's almost like what is happening to Prague and all nowadays, that first, they're happy to play chess. And second, when one day you suddenly give them openings, you think, wow, this is, I even got openings now. And this was my feeling after working with Misha. I was a very good natural player, but after I worked with him, I thought, no, now I have just good openings. I can do what I want. And it gave me a lot of confidence.
Oh, yeah.
But with Karpov, I didn't have problems in the openings. I would get winning positions, and I was not depending on my opening preparation to get those winning positions. My thing was I got a good starting point.
Okay.
And I could just play chess, and that was it. But I was outplaying him in every game, almost effortlessly.
Yeah.
And Misha told me all the tricks. He says he would run his clock down, then he will suddenly blitz in time and pressure because he knows you will do it.
Okay.
So don't do that, and all these things. And of course, all the mistakes I made anyway. Karpov escaped all the time. Because it is irresistible. When your opponent is in such time pressure, you start blitzing. And it's I've written 100 times not to do this, but it's no use. I do it. Yeah. Anyway, he escaped every time. And I realized actually putting the guy away is huge work. So, and then I stopped and thought, well, for something, he's one of the all-time greats. And for something, I grew up studying his game, so that sort of thing. So it went back and forth. There were many... when you play a legend, you expect to be outplayed in everything, and you're surprised that you're not. But then after a while, you forget you can be outplayed in anything. And then you're surprised that you are. So it's a bit of back and forth. Same thing with Kasparov, though with him, you expected to be outplayed in the openings and you were because he was still at his peak. But every once in a while, I'd play a game against him and I think, wow, is that all there was to it? Because this game was much easier than I thought. So I've had that experience with him as well, but most of the time he just hit you very hard. And in fact, I think with Gary also, I was surprised on many occasions to see him do things that I didn't think he was particularly good in. He would suddenly play some fine endgames. And you realized he was a real student of the game. I remember he played this knight and 3 against rook and 2 against Kramnik in Botvinnik Memorial in 2001 in Moscow.
Okay.
This 4 classical rapid and blitz that they played. And suddenly he was quoting this game with Vidmar. He published analysis. He did all that. And I thought that's actually quite impressive. He's a real student of the game.
Yeah.
Of course, you kind of knew that he was, but it was overwhelming always. You thought, Gary openings. But he played many technical positions at an incredible level. In fact, it might have been a mistake for him to concentrate on the tactical side only.
Yeah. Somebody told me that he was a very, very good positional player as well, but we just don't know. He didn't play too much games with it, let's say.
Correct. And I would say that it's very hard to see him playing blitz and lots of blitz like this, like we do nowadays and so on, which is why it's very difficult to compare his strength. But he was capable of great blitz performances also.
Yeah. Whenever he played blitz, he played well. He just played like a few tournaments.
Correct. And the problem was that all of us, we suffered from this, that we had no chance to play open tournaments.
Yes.
We had no chance to play that many blitz events, so it was only a few events that had it.
Yeah.
Even I had more because I had Amber, I had Mainz, Frankfurt Mainz, I had Corsica, so I had several. Okay, this one is number 9.
Yes. As long as we started talking about Gary.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I went rook d5 mainly because it looked nice. I did not expect him to take it. I thought it looks nice. What can go wrong? But he took it, and I was shocked that he took it. But later on, it's true. I checked it at the computer because then my feeling was if you black waits, white is not better. That was my impression after the game. But I checked it at the computer, and the computer says no. It does all sorts of maneuvers. It'll go queen back, c5, bishop d1, b3. It does amazing stuff, and then you realize, wow. So it is much better. And this is one of the things that computers show that bishop and knight are not equal.
Yes.
So I should be the last person saying it. But bishop and knight are not equal. It does magic with the bishop sometimes.
Yeah.
It has the time and the calculation to reroute bishops, and it's very hard to do that practically. But obviously, the computer has the tactical ability to do it. So control the position while it reroutes pieces around, and what it does with the bishop sometimes is amazing.
Somebody told me that I asked about the bishop. I don't remember who it was. Maybe even Karpov. I asked him about the bishop and the knight. He said, bishop is much stronger than the knight. I said, what about Vishy? He said, yeah, but you need to be Vishy to show that it's not. And it's not every day he can do this.
And
how was the match? How was the first part of the match with Kasparov in 1995 in New York?
My big ambition in this match was, I thought the mistake Short did was that he was not ready to play a match when he went at Gary full tilt. It was a very primitive opinion, which I'll come to in a second. Okay. I felt that Short had plunged too directly, and before he was comfortable.
Yeah.
And then he lost 3 out of the first 4 games. Then he lost even 2 more, and then the rest of the match was a waste of time. You knew he can maybe win a game here or something there, but it's a waste of time. And for the match with Gary, I thought the most important thing was first to feel comfortable there, and second to get used to the experience of being in the World Championship and playing, and then to start the big fights. So even my match repertoire was kind of structured like that. We prepared many of the sharper lines, which we were going to come to. And we started the bishop e2 Scheveningen. And surprisingly, that in the third game already had a good chance to win a game and so on.
It worked.
It worked. And with black to settle in, play good, get familiar with my opening thing, we had prepared some surprise lines for later and so on. And after 6 draws, I thought this is going great. After 6 games, I'm still in the match. And I had the feeling that Gary expected to be in the lead.
Yeah.
So if he's not in the lead already, that's a blow for him. And so that is again a victory of my strategy. So, and then I won game 9. And suddenly it felt, well, we've done everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And then the time came for this game 10. Should I repeat the same open Spanish again?
Yeah.
It's not an easy choice because we were looking at it all the time for the last few days. And so very familiar with all the details. And it seemed to be working all the time. We were as sure as you could be in those days. This was still, computers were a joke. I mean, I think his computer, Gary said he left a computer for 4 days, but he needed 2 more days to check the lines.
Yeah.
Because
so
there's not enough there. Yeah. Whereas a modern stockfish will find it will give you the whole line in seconds and it's correct. It's absolutely correct. But anyway, so Gary, and we hesitated. We also prepared the Scandinavian, the center counter as a surprise weapon. This would have been a good time to do it.
But who knew?
Yes. With hindsight, everything looks easy. I admit that. But I decided just to repeat the open Spanish. And it was one more day. If the open Spanish survived, then we got to the rest day. We could rethink everything and so on.
Yeah.
And for Gary, it was such a relief. I mean, you know Kasparov, right? He's just pumping himself up and taking his handkerchief and wiping his sweat and all the stuff. And because he can't wait for that position to come on the board where he goes queen d3 and he can play bishop c2 knight d3. So he's just pumped up and it was quite... I mean, now I can laugh about it because I will talk about Vladdy as well. So I lost this 10th game quite badly, but it was quite irritating as well. This was the time he was getting up, slamming the door and so on. I realize now that Gary couldn't contain how much tension he was at. But then if I had managed to switch to something very quiet, some opening which he would not have expected.
That's logical.
While he's sitting so waiting for this open Spanish, it would have been, he would have just gone crazy. So then with that hindsight, you think, it's a real pity I didn't switch to this center counter. But the problem was we had only the evening to do it, not a rest day. So because we played 2 games rest day, no. So for the black game, it was not possible to prepare at that level, and I went back to think. Anyway, this was done, and then I didn't adjust well to his dragon and a couple of points, and then management. And so many years later, I thought my match strategy was exactly Shot's strategy. Except I swapped the weeks. Instead of the first week being the disaster, I simply took the first week and put it here. Took the second and third week and brought it back here. And it was not a triumph of strategy. But, or at least, well, you can be honest with yourself and say, okay, this is not what I intended. The point was not just to delay the inevitable, but to build yourself in a better position.
Sure.
So anyway, some years passed and... Vladdy beat Gary so easily in London. And he said, afterwards I read an interview of his. Again, whenever Vladdy gives an interview, I can hear him saying the words. Maybe you have this feeling also.
Sure.
Yes, you can just hear Vladdy say it, and I can hear the tone in which he says
the tone. Yes,
completely. So Vladdy gives an interview and he says, I looked at these guys, Shot, Anand. I looked for some hint of a strategy, but they had no strategy at all. And for a minute, I was quite angry. I thought, that's a bit ridiculous. Everybody has strategies. Sometimes they don't work, but this is a bit cruel. But afterwards, I thought, well, maybe he had a point. And again, the comparison comes. For me at least, depriving Gary of the open Spanish would have been a huge thing because he's really waiting for that. But I was very impressed that one day in the middle of when Gary is not achieving anything against the Berlin, already 3 attempts or something, he plays the Arshangelsk.
Yes.
Remember this?
Yes,
he plays the Arshangelsk.
No, it's 9 games.
10th, maybe?
No, 10th he won. 10th he won.
10th he won with white, so it must be the 9th game or the 11th.
Yeah. No,
11th was
11th. Yes, 11th.
11th, yeah.
11th.
He switches to this. He switches to the Arshangelsk.
So he learned from your mistakes, I think. He switched after the win.
Yes, and so I think that was the moment I admitted to myself, okay, this interview is a bit cruel, but it's also correct. I had no hint of a strategy. In fact, Vladdy said he was thinking, if I was playing this match that Vishy or Nigel was playing, I think he was only thinking of me at that point. He said, I wrote down a list of possible openings against Gary, and the Berlin was at the top.
Vladdy said that.
Vladdy's list. He said he made a list of possible openings to use against Gary. And he thought one of us would try it, but none of us tried. We didn't try anything. That's why he said there was no hint of something called a strategy. And he said the Berlin came up at the top and so on. And I was very embarrassed. For my match with Gary, I didn't even consider the openings. I just thought we are strong in the open Spanish, which I played with Kamsky, so I'll repeat it. And that was it. No plans to change something. It's a practical decision. All the work would have to be done by us. Again, it's very hard to go back to this time because nowadays we just, with a computer, you can check anything very fast. Yeah. But in those days, if I had to learn a new opening, I would have had to do everything myself. So
it's hard to switch. Yeah.
It's hard to switch that easily.
It takes a lot of time.
Correct. So it's a bit anachronistic to say I should have done it then. But anyway, so I read this interview of Vladdy and I was a bit embarrassed, but then I thought he's also right. And enough time had passed, so I didn't feel too bad. And I think it influenced me heavily when I played him in Bonn.
Really?
Just to complete the thing, in Bonn, after Mexico itself, that night I thought, what do I want to play against Vladdy? And it's not that I expected D4 to be a huge success, but at least I thought I won't be stuck in positions where Vladdy is very happy. Okay. We'll mix something. I'll be in trouble, but at least I'll be focused. And it'll be easy to concentrate.
Why in trouble? You were thinking he was superior in opening by then, 2007, 2008?
The problem is when you play some, if I play D4 and he plays some line, quite often it'll look unfamiliar to me. Yeah. And then you'll make little mistakes and you'll be outplayed.
Yes.
I mean, this is how a normal game will go. And I felt this would happen quite often. But my logic then was I'd prefer that to being playing E4 and just getting nowhere in every game.
Okay.
So I wanted to make that switch. And also with Black, we started choosing very, very aggressive openings. And I think it was influenced by my match with Gary, where somehow I just repeated what I wanted to do. But now I realized also a lot of time had passed. 13 years had passed. But I realized now I can change and I can do things differently. So let me try to bring that more.
Okay.
And it was also influenced heavily by this interview of Kramnik.
Really?
I think so. I think that somewhere in the back of my head, this thing was sitting, that this remark, and I didn't take it personally at all, but it stuck in my head. Nigel and Vishy didn't seem to have anything which looked like a strategy. When it sits in your head, it's kind of sitting there. So I think it influenced me a lot in that. It's running in your head. I can't tell you I made a concrete move for it, but it's running in your head somewhere.
You didn't write it on the wall. I mean, I understand that it's just.
Oh no, maybe I almost did, but it was there, and so that played a big part. Anyway, long story.
Yeah, but you won a few games against Gary before the match, like in Reggio Emilia, something beautiful games actually, just outplaying him, out-calculating him. His game in Reggio Emilia, I think, with
yes,
just fantastic game, just amazing game. So were you confident before the match that you can beat him? I mean, he was losing at that time. He was losing 5, 7, maximum 7 classical games per year, and you were beating him every year.
I beat him twice in '91, and then I didn't beat him for a very long time. Well, one of the things that happened was I gave him some point. Dortmund 92, I gave him a very easy win for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the piece blunder. He goes queen e1 and I forget to wait for the piece. And somehow after that I didn't recover. I think my opening choices were bad or this was bad. And at some level I felt my problem was whatever opening I looked at, I had the feeling he would understand it better. And even when I didn't, he would actually catch me somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the reasons we respected Kasparov's preparation was because it really was very good. So it's not we invented in our heads. It was actually there. But I had the feeling that I could play myself into shape. Again, because I had started losing many games against him, I was already -3 by the time we played the match. I think it was in the back of the head that I shouldn't start like Nigel.
Okay, yeah.
But like I said, we just swapped wigs in the end. But that was my thing, that I should really settle into the match before thing. And I was trying to play myself into a mental shape as well as match shape. But I hope I went with some optimism, but it's hard to remember now. Yeah, I mean, afterwards you remember what you don't want to remember, no?
Yeah.
So.
Where's Rook? Rook is here. And yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. I think it's
something very clever on B5 or something, yeah?
Yes, exactly. Yes. Something very clever, yes.
More or less,
it's a beautiful move, yeah.
B5, yeah.
Yeah, well, where did you play it?
Linares 2005.
Yes, exactly. He got there because of winning the
Tripoli, correct.
The Tripoli, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And you worked with him, right?
Couple of years later, but I played him in Linares a couple of times. Then I played him in Leon. Then I played him I played him before in San Luis. So we were kind of, but even in 99 when I met him for the first time, he was very friendly, chat a lot and so on.
But then,
on and off.
But then he worked as a coach, yeah? Would you? Or just
he did. He was he was in the match with Kramnik and Bonn full time. He joined and so on. I mean, key linchpin of that match, but we hadn't worked too much before. I think I played him last time. No, I played him in Corsica, then I played him in Blitz in Moscow, World Blitz Championship and all, which used to happen in 2006-07. And we had kept in touch. And then Aruna suggested, why don't you ask Rustam? I said, well, maybe he won't agree, you know. He's the world champion, but be a second, maybe he won't be very interested. She said, well, ask him and see, and so on. So I think somehow we thought, what the hell, I'll ask him. And he said yes.
Okay. And you worked for a few years together?
Yes, we worked 4 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
And then already in 2012, he was saying that he had he didn't want to coach like this anymore. And also, I think as a team, we were getting stuck in terms of routines and everything. And I mean, I don't take it personally, but I can understand guys wanting to move on. Sure. Let's put it that way.
That's okay. Was there a point that you understood during your career that you should build a big team, start to work more on the opening? Because as I understand from Vlad's stories or Boris, at some point you started working a lot more than before.
Yes. Gurevich was the first big... so I'd worked with Van der Weel and Hellers for my first match with Drive. That was very nice. The first time I had an organized repertoire. Then with Gurevich, it was more insightful. He said, we both agreed that Queen's Indian is probably not the best opening against Karpov. So we had to switch. We found the Meran Slav, which worked out very well. And, you know, he gave a lot of psychological insights, things like that. Also, first time I was quite surprised that during some of my adjourned games, I was afraid he would tell me to sit there and work all night. I mean, I don't know what the ex-Soviet coaches do, no? So I was kind of worried. But then he was very sweet. We had dinner, came back. He said, okay, show me the position. Tell me your impressions. I would tell him the adjourned game. I tell him, okay, this is what I was thinking. And so on. He said, okay, that's it. Now you go to sleep. I will tell you in the morning. And so at 9 o'clock, I'd wake up, go for breakfast and come back to the room.
Okay.
And then he'll show me his analysis. And I said, so when did you go to sleep? He'll say 4 o'clock in the morning. So,
okay.
New level of
work. Yeah.
Yeah, new level of work and so on. I was not used to that before. And for my matches, I had very big teams, but very soon it dropped to only Ubilava. I always felt that for tournaments and all, it's overkill to have a big team because you can't handle that much information and that many people all the time. So Elispar was my trainer for the next 8 or 9 years, and then I got Peter Heine. And for matches, the team would grow, and then again it would shrink and something like that.
Okay.
Because I worked with many of these people.
But you started working like this. When did you start like really seriously working on the opening spending? Like Kasimdzhanov told me in the interview that when he came to you, he understood what is chess work now. Because before that, he said that he couldn't understand that you can spend so much time on chess.
Yes, I think it really started in 1990-91.
Oh, really?
So from first time I played the candidates matches.
Okay, from the beginning.
Well, I'd already qualified for the candidates by that point.
Yes,
I understand. I start there, and then the habit remained. But it was once possible to work like that, in the sense that in 96-98, my opening preparation was to look at a position, then find a move which I like. It'll work out, and stop there.
Yeah.
Never to go further. But that was possible then. Whereas now that feels impossible because you have to go deeper and deeper and deeper. But then it felt you could do that. Of course, once upon a time, I was exaggerating a bit. I would literally wake up in the morning and think, what will I play? Or even go to the board and think what I'll play.
Yeah?
Yes.
In 90s?
In 90s, yes.
In 90s, yes.
Less and less as it went along, but I still retain those habits from my youth.
No, but also the famous story of Kramnik waking up in the morning after some good night in Veik or somewhere. Who am I playing today? Is that Anand with black? Okay, I'll go to sleep. That was the preparation back then.
Yes, they were very different times. I think it was still possible. You needed to find a good move, but it's possible to stop very quickly afterwards and say, the rest I can play at the board.
Yeah.
Now, the more forced lines you feel, you should at least know a little bit more.
But I think Kasparov changed it, no?
No.
Change this approach. So you need to know your openings. You need to analyze them deeper and deeper and deeper.
I think he started us on this road, and definitely he was doing it even before computers.
Yeah.
This idea of exhausting analysis.
Yeah.
But it didn't affect me then.
Oh, okay.
In the sense that I could continue to be how I wanted, and there were advantages and disadvantages. But by 2004, 2005, engines were pushing, and you could no longer argue with them.
Okay.
And the problem is there's no use in you saying, I'll go to the board and play if your opponent is waiting for you there. And he has checked it. So you kind of are forced to check it yourself. And so the arms race started.
The process started.
The process started. But Gary was doing it, but I don't think he made it impossible for others yet. But engines made it impossible for other approaches to survive.
Engines, yeah.
That's how I feel. Engines at some point made it impossible to be like this.
Yeah. When it became so accessible for everybody.
As well.
You have to do this, yeah. Otherwise, somebody will definitely do it. Show you one position you probably know, and then I'll try to find a position you don't know.
Okay. Magnus, maybe.
Huh?
Magnus.
Yes, Magnus. Exactly.
Magnus, yeah, sure. Then Morelia.
Morelia, yes. Morelia Linares, yeah?
Yeah.
2007. So just the time he appeared, yeah? Like on the scene.
He had appeared a little bit before, but still losing endgames to us. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Yeah.
How was it when you started playing him?
Well, I was +5 against him at one point. Between 2006 till 10, I increased my lead to +5.
Okay.
I don't know where it went after that.
How was it playing matches against him? Against young, strong, very well prepared?
It was unpleasant because people of my generation, I found them predictable in some way that I find hard to define. It's just, even if I didn't know what they were going to do, I knew what they were not going to do. With him, I didn't have that because even moves you didn't expect to happen would happen, and it was a bit more unpredictable. With Boris, you know that he will study, he'll find interesting openings and all, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy will come out of there. So you kind of know what to rule out.
Yeah.
With Magnus, and in fact, it's grown over the years. He tries to be even more unpredictable these days.
Yes.
But he was much more unpredictable. But also that generation, Hikaru, MVL, all of them, maybe MVL not then, but all of them are very unpredictable. So I always say that it's not important that you know what your opponent can do. It's just as important to know what they cannot do, because then your eye doesn't even look in those things and you stop wasting time there. Whereas when you don't know, you have to spend a little effort there. But for me, the main problem was that I had become a much weaker player. So sometime between 2011.
Is it true?
I'll tell you, 2010, I had a very good result. 2011, January, I had a very good result. I was second in Vaikensee.
Yeah.
+4. And then I think.
Then you became a father.
Then I became a father. I mean, I won't connect the two things, but it's a thing. But between that and so 1.5 years, I think I won just 2 games or something. In 1.5 years, I just stopped winning games. I didn't lose many, but I didn't win any.
It just happens, yeah, at some point.
I just froze, and it was quite embarrassing even. I would turn up at tournaments and think, is everyone laughing at me?
Yeah.
And I mean, you feel this inside and you don't know what to do with yourself. So that was a tough period. And this was exactly when I played Magnus. In a way, it's a pity, because even a year or two later, I was starting to play better again. And again, I managed to get back. But it would have been nice to play the first match in a slightly better shape. Not that I'm really claiming that I would have been the favorite otherwise, but at least not to play like I played those matches.
And the
first one. The second match was much better already. Because somehow I felt, when I lost the match, there was a brief moment when I actually even considered, should I bother going for the candidates? I mean, if I finish last again, it'll just be embarrassing. Why do I need to? This kind of thing. And then I just felt, why not? As we discussed earlier, why not? So why not? And then, so I thought, let's play the match. And then I had the famous dinner with Kramnik.
What is that?
In London. So in London, I had Vladdy had just lost to Nakamura in a totally won position. You should see this game. It's first.
Okay.
He's exchange up and something up and just totally winning, but he managed to lose it in the end. And so I called him up and said, okay, let me buy you dinner. Let's go. Let's go and get drunk or something. So he said, fine. And then we spoke and he said, well, what do you gain by turning down the candidates? Next time you'll have to qualify for it. So this time just play it and finish. So I said, okay, you're right. And I decided to play Hunty. And then, of course, Hunty went like a dream. And sometimes you need this. You need a good result and then you come
back.
You feel happy about playing chess again. So then you feel you feel cured. And I came back. Also, having lost that match in such a way, I think helped me stop worrying a little bit. So, I mean, once the worst has happened, so I worry about it, sort of thing. And Sochi, I played better and I was more stable and so on. But it wasn't good enough still.
Okay. But he's very strong, huh? Magnus guy.
Yes, I'm happy that at least it's a sort of justification that no one else has shown what I should have done then. So it's not easy as it seems.
Yeah, it's not easy. If you take Magnus on top and Kasparov on top, which one is scarier for you?
The problem is again that you're comparing. The background has changed so much. So Magnus is dominating in rapid and blitz, and so very often it's easy to think, no, he must be much stronger than Kasparov, because you cannot imagine Kasparov playing rapid and blitz and dominating like this. But the guy never had the chance also. So
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, he played mines a couple of times, but that was it. Or even, in fact, just once, 2000. He played, he played 98.
Gary?
Gary, he played 3 times.
Yeah, but he also played some Blitz events and also winning them very convincingly.
Yes.
Like he played this first World Championship Blitz, like 89, maybe 88, something like this.
Yes, he also won these 2 events in Cannes.
Yes.
For sure. But with Gary, I had a playing him in Rapid was much easier than playing him in Classical.
Sure,
put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you had that sense, and it's very difficult to compare which one is harder. I think Gary's problem is he's always going to lose this contest with Magnus because it's easier to remember how difficult it is to play against Magnus. It's much harder to remember. I mean, you cannot remember so much anymore about something that I told you already. After a tournament, I forget all the difficult moments.
Yeah.
How are we going to remember what it was like to play against Gary?
It was hard against Gary. It was hard. Vladi, we made some videos about his game against Gary in I think it was Linares 94. No. 97 maybe, where he lost this final game.
Yes, this long ending.
Yeah, so he was saying that I've tried to choose the opening, and I spent like 2 hours choosing something. I need to something that he doesn't have analyzing. He has here. And I found this line I never played Nemtsov back then, so I got the unfamiliar position, but that was, I thought, my only chance to survive. I think, I still remember that Gary was very scary to play against him. With Magnus, I think it's not so much. I mean, because Gary was pushing with white and black, so his preparation was aimed to get an advantage and win a game. Magnus is sometimes okay with just slow playing.
Yes, but that's also what makes that Magnus unpleasant because he seems to be going nowhere, but he never stops.
Yeah,
you see what I mean? He gets nothing, but.
He always finds a way to continue.
Yes, he finds a way to continue and he finds little problems. And the worst thing is with Magnus, you always have the sense that a game which you think is going, where there's no problem, suddenly becomes dangerous. And the switching is very unpleasant. At least with Gary, you're under pressure from the beginning. But you're right. I played what I thought was a very good novelty. Elisbar found it. And usually if Elisbar found something, I was confident very few other people had seen it because his brain works like that. Elisbar.
Okay.
And he found this idea in the QGA, and I played it against Gary. And Gary stopped. He just stopped. He sat there for 1 hour.
For 1 hour?
1 hour he sat there calculating. And normal calculation, not the finger stuff. The normal calculation.
Normal work, yeah.
Yeah. So, with Karpov, for instance, the lips are big clue.
What?
When he calculates with his lips.
Yeah?
Karpov. He
says something?
No, but he's whispering to himself and calculating very fast.
Okay.
I always thought it was a sign of some nervousness or something. And with Gary, sometimes in his calculation, he'll start pointing finger.
But that's for the media, no?
Probably, but it's quite entertaining anyway. Yes, but no, I don't think Karpov is for the media, but definitely Gary for sure.
Yeah. No, he just does this at the end of the calculation, just some minor tricks that I don't lose, like a queen in one move, something like that.
Exactly. So he didn't. He just sat there calculating, and I thought wonderful. And I was walking, and I completely lost my concentration and everything. Because 1 hour, how do you concentrate on something? And that too, you made your preparation, you're waiting for his reply, and I'm just walking around. And he comes, and I don't remember if it's a move I hadn't thought of, and it was any thing. He sacked another pawn on the queen side.
Okay.
So it's one of these QGAs where I was a pawn up on d4, but he has this pawn on e4.
When was it?
99 Linares, he was white.
99
Linares. So his best year, that was the year he had the big score.
Yeah.
And he played some b4, rook b1, again, very, very concrete. And within a few moves, I realized half my candidate moves are losing. So, panic stations. You try to solve it. So this is a man who takes your opening novelty and hits you back strongly.
Yeah.
So I understand what Vladi is talking about, but I'm surprised at the same time because I genuinely thought the easiest game for Vladi was to play Gary. He gave that impression sometimes that I don't know. I saw him in Dos Hermanas, I saw him in Novgorod, I saw him here, I saw him there. And I thought for Vladi, Gary is the easiest opponent. But maybe he made it look like that. I don't know.
No. I think but it's the psychological thing. It's not chess thing. He liked to play games.
Yes.
Yeah. He was the one. He thought that he understood Gary. he felt his energy, he felt his, and he wasn't also affected by this energy storm. So
Yes.
he kind of ate it, you know, and,
Yes.
and had some fun of it. Yeah.
And
think
actually,
that's the
he said that somebody we spoke also, but I think he's mentioned this in other places that when he was working for Gary, he understood that Gary's opening preparation, it's great, but it's also full of holes, and that you could find the holes in it.
Yeah.
I mean, his point was Gary will go very deep down one line, but he'll neglect some other candidate moves, and he was not thorough in that
I
sense.
think he just learned how to work on chess
Yes.
properly.
Possibly,
In 95,
that's
in
95, yeah.
How to do it properly. Also, he told me that that this match was hell because you are playing too fast, Vishy, and the games lasted for the first 8 games lasted for 3 hours. There is no time to sleep. There is no time to eat. So Gary went for the game. He went to pool, lunch, and that's it. Gary is back. So,
Good. I'm glad I made them work.
yeah.
So,
Okay. When I do this, I always wonder, how did you work on chess before computers? It was so slow, yeah?
I wanted to. And probably
because you need to position. Okay, I'm doing it slowly. Even if somebody does it very fast, I mean, it's...
Barua.
Huh?
Barua.
What is it?
I think Barua, yeah.
Thank you, Vish. that was my pearl, my gem.
No, this is Barua.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it was so nice to beat him. I mean, I would play Queen H5 somewhere, and
Why so?
generally he was not easy opponent for me. And this game I won quite easily, and
Yeah.
this was very
What
nice.
was that? That was 1980
6,
Calcutta.
Calcutta,
What was
86.
it was just a.
It was my first tournament where I tried for a GM nom.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something is wrong. Yeah.
No, I don't think there's a pawn on D3.
Huh?
There's a pawn on E4.
No, pawn is not here.
Right.
Okay. Then yes, then it's okay.
There's a rook here or something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, your rook is here. Amazingly enough.
The black rook.
Yes.
Wow, this I didn't remember. So you see, I mean, I got this and I knew it's Barua, but
Yeah.
I don't know the rest.
This is the move you played. Well,
Well, I have to protect the F2 pawn, right?
yeah.
So,
Okay, last one. Okay.
last one.
Do I have anything? So here.
Peter Wells, yeah?
Okay. Yes, exactly.
Yes, Peter Wells, yeah.
This is the
World Junior in Finland,
yes, World Junior 1984.
84.
84. No, world champions have excellent memory, I can tell you.
Well, you're not really trying to bust me, but I mean, if you did, I'm sure you'll succeed.
No, of course I can find the game you don't remember, but
Yeah, but okay.
but I need something from the
Sure.
You won this event? No.
No, not this one. I won 4 years later. I mean, this was 84. 85, Dlugi won. 86, Aransibia won. Then I won 87.
Okay. And then when did you start playing in, what was the first big tournament? Let's say classical tournament. 89?
I played
Moscow?
Vaikensee in 89.
Okay. Okay.
Reggio Emilia in 89. And so I was getting some big events then.
Okay.
And after Reggio Emilia, I think I played Reggio Emilia in 88.
Yeah.
Vaikensee in 89. And then Linares came in 91. But then I qualified in the interzonal in 1990 in Manila.
In Manila, yeah.
And after that, I got many good invitations because, interzonal. You're a candidate. So.
Yeah, so it's...
Also, when I was World Junior Champion, I got some very good invitations. Bessel invited me to be a guest at Swift in Brussels.
Okay.
So, I just got to go to this tournament and hang out.
Okay. That was fun.
Yeah, it was great. So you see all these top GMs playing and you're staying in fantastic hotel for the first time. And very, very nice, pleasant memory. I met some people, some Indians in Groningen a few years ago. And I was there for this one day, the traveling Vaikensee thing.
Okay.
So you play in Vaik, but they do these trips, right? And so one year we played in Groningen. And then I met some Indians in the morning at breakfast. They're not chess players or anything. So they came and said, hello, nice to meet you. What are you doing here? I said, I'm playing this tournament. Oh, okay. And I said, what do you do? And they said, we work in, probably you don't know this company. It's a financial company. I said, okay, hit me. So they said, it's a company called Swift. I said, yeah, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. They're like amazed. How do you know that? So anyway, I told them, no, come on. You guys were one of the biggest sponsors of chess for many years. They had no clue. It was 93.
Oh, really?
Sorry, it was 2018 or something.
Okay.
I think 18 or must have, yeah, I think it was 2018, January. So it was many years after the heyday of Swift sponsorship, but still they had no clue that Swift had ever done anything with chess. And they were amazed I knew this. I said, come on, once upon a time, they were biggest sponsors of chess. We knew everything about them. So, just a funny story.
Yeah.
And they had no ideas.
No, because this word became like, for everybody who does business, Swift is a word you know.
Especially nowadays, Swift is, again, sort of in the news a lot. So you find out about it.
Sure. But I always, when I see Swift, I always remember chess. I don't think about money.
Correct.
Yeah, think about chess, yeah. There are people.
And so also very nice that Bessel is here. So it's...
Yeah. Vishy, thank you very much. And good luck in India and good luck with everything. And it's so great that actually it's so nice that you have some kids now that are growing in India and they're coming after you.
Yeah.
I mean, coming after, not coming after you in terms of time. Yeah.
Sure.
So you're not the only one, and we see this beautiful generation. And it's kind of magical, honestly, that after you, there are not, we hope they will grow to that level, but it's not obvious, of course, and I'm not sure, but it's nice to see that it's, that your work, your play, your chess life, it has some continuation in India. That's always great.
Thanks, thanks, Ilya, and thanks again for this great tournament. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay.